Only I can prevent
I did
forest fires.
technical support for like 5 years. I know how this works.
I don't think it's the phone. I think it's the service, and I don't think other than I don't know what they can do other than actually fix the issues on their side. Because it doesn't do, like how ours does the handover, and it does the handover back from data back to Wi-Fi and from Wi-Fi up to data.
Yeah.
This does not handle the transfer at all. And sometimes if it tries to transfer, it just drops the connection and then nothing works. Absolutely nothing. The only thing you can do is reboot the phone.
Well, don't transfer.
I actually turned that off, and it fixed some of the issues. I told her not to use the Wi-Fi at all.
Yeah, just don't use the Wi-Fi. My transfer works pretty good most of the time.
Yeah, but you're on Republic, and it's a decent service.
Yeah.
What are you on?
She's on that Talk Now.
The $18 unlimited $18
okay.
program.
Which
as much as you want for
it
18
is
hours.
100% voice over IP, but they're using cell data to do the voice over IP. And it doesn't use like cell. It's just all data.
Yeah. And as long as your throughput, I mean, it doesn't take a lot to do voice.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It runs at 64, okay, or less.
Well, and that's the other thing that about that particular service. They seem to be using a lot of data for voice. Much more than anywhere else I have ever seen for voice.
Are you doing port filtering on this?
It should not be doing port filtering, no.
I can't SSH into this guy. And I can tell you that this is configured with port 22 wide open.
Usually port 22 is open.
Other than changing the default IP address on this, I didn't do anything else to it. I reset it back to factory.
What if you just put your Cat5 into the network here? Can you do that?
No,
No?
they do filter
Oh,
a ton of stuff,
Yeah.
which is one reason why I bring my own routers down here.
gotcha.
I don't know.
You
Strange.
can ping it and you know it's there.
DFH.
But you
Oh, I know it's there. I ran Nmap on it and I see it right there. So.
But you can't SSH. It's that.
Well, I just did a scan, and I did an Nmap scan on the port that this thing is sitting on, which is 172.16.0.4, and all of the scanned ports are closed. And I know for a fact that this thing is configured with port 22 open, 389's open, and so forth and so on. So it's not here. It's got to be someplace up the line. So let me see if I can figure out what's going on here.
Any ideas? Because that one
There he is.
Yep.
If you want to just go into the setup of the router,
Yeah.
it's admin and password.
How about using this router? Would this help him at all?
Well, just a minute. Let me try what you just said. So can I SSH into that or
Through the website. Whatever it was, 172 that.
yeah. Why is the batteries out?
Go out at the oddest times.
Pardon?
I said they go out at the oddest times.
No.
And I usually never turn them off, so they don't last as long. And you got the switch on the back.
Well, these have a switch where if you put the wireless dongle in, it shuts it off automatically. So let's try this again. Turn green, so it should be okay.
For a couple seconds.
Okay, we're live again. Okay. And this is all the ports are closed. So let me, just go ahead using the website. This is most strange. The computer is behaving strangely. Power.
I didn't bring big enough LEDs. Long enough LEDs. Figures. That's all right. I will change this sketch.
Try this. This is bizarre.
It's a crappy router.
Yeah, okay, let me reboot. Nothing else. When in doubt, reboot.
I was shocked at, of course, where I found it at and what I paid for it. I can't be
I was gonna say, it's,
too upset, but it is, but it's a crappy router.
We don't need the cable.
We figured it out.
Figured it out. Takes a different cable, not even that cable.
It's operating trouble.
Frank just was having problems.
Don't knock over the coffee though. I keep trying that every week. Get it.
So you don't need me.
No, we don't need you. But, man,
Sorta.
don't mean doesn't want you.
So what did you figure out?
He's got a different
Operating
connector.
trouble.
Huh?
He's got a different connector.
Okay.
One we were looking at last week had a miniature connector. He's got a regular connector. And what's worse is now I've got a bad connector on this thing. I didn't even know about it. I've never tried to use it. I got to get an adapter for my camera, which Leroy's going to bring.
You can actually
bring one.
get an adapter, or you can actually buy a cable. Because actually, I bought 2 of those cables, Dayport cables.
Big dog at that can company named Ken? Big dog?
Yeah.
Me? No.
I was talking to a guy who used to build machines. We didn't know anything about it, but you guys would have to build machines. Greg Klein.
Greg? There was a Greg.
He owned this company out in Ross area. So you guys need machines, he just says, where you want this switch, where you want that. And we built some of the lines.
What type of machines are those?
He said he did a lot of business, and when I mentioned your name, they didn't know what your last name was.
what was the password and,
But he said,
It's
"Oh,
admin and just password,
That was you?
Mm-hmm.
which is the default. I just reset this thing back to default.
Paul?
HAFI.
Oh, okay.
okay. It says no internet connection, I guess
Oh,
that's a
yeah, that's your
surprise.
business. It's a road tech.
Did that.
So, yeah. So you probably did a lot of business.
We did
Pseudo
what kind of
blocking.
business, if I remember right. Doesn't leak chairs. But no,
Security.
that's another life.
Yeah. And he just sold that. He sold that company.
Recording.
Okay.
Because they're still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get the cookies out of the way of your
Pass
webcam.
them down this way. These guys hadn't had a shot at them. And get them away from you. God,
Keep them away from me,
Oh, yeah, this is good. Thank you, whoever bought the cookies.
That's Stan. The dog horse.
The library. The library done did it.
He said, don't try to smoke them. They're hard to light. I don't know what that.
Stan.
Stan, is that his name? What's his name? See, at least I had a name. You don't even have a name. Please.
Charlie.
Charlie? Okay. I'll call him Charlie next time.
All right.
It looks like it defaults to blocking everything except a short list, and the short list does not include SSH.
That's, okay.
I've been
That's
doing
interesting.
for, 32
Yeah, it
years.
definitely is.
So there was a lot of little jobs I had to do. For 3 years, go to the next job.
Apply.
3 years.
Whoops.
Travel, go to
It
this.
wants a name.
My mom used to call me can bomb.
What?
A can bomb.
Work.
Oh.
She says, wherever they send you, you go. That's probably true.
How was the camera resolution on your big TV?
Not bad.
Not bad?
No,
Okay.
not bad.
It's supposed to be HD. He's got a GoPro camera with a HDMI output, and he plugged the camera into his TV to see what the camera looked like.
It's a knockoff.
It's a GoPro knockoff.
I
Yeah.
want to go from.
Just as good.
So what are you gonna do with it?
I'm gonna take it down to the Deschutes River in Oregon. I'm gonna drown it. 47 years ago, I was going down that river and I nearly drowned. I plan to go back to that river again in about a week.
We're hoping this time.
There's flash flood, huh?
Yeah. It was an accident.
I escaped. Maybe not this time. Yeah. I was 17 and young and dumb. I called up my partner. I says, I'm thinking about going down the river. And he says, we haven't been down there for a couple of years. I said, I know. He says, that little bin that we got, tossed out of the raft. I said, yeah. People have drowned there. I said, oh, that's nice to know.
You're expecting him to say they straightened it out?
The state of Oregon has straightened part of it out.
Oh.
Dynamite part of the river
Yeah.
because of the hazards. But this time I said, I would like to go with the tour guide. Okay? He says, is your heart really set on it? I said, yeah, it's really set on it. There's a little place called Maupin, okay? It's not, one stop like that's it. And it's along the Deschutes, which goes into the Columbia, which goes up from the ocean. So, it goes, maybe about 25 miles, 30 miles down the river. And from Maupin, it goes to Shears Falls. It's a huge falls. And anybody who goes over that falls usually doesn't make it.
Yeah. So you're gonna avoid that part.
We're gonna avoid that part. And go up.
What's wrong, Jim?
Above mountain.
Everything's wonderful.
And go down.
What you gonna be doing? You're gonna be able to demo your stuff tonight?
The cipher,
It's
Yeah.
the cipher
Mhm.
demo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, can you proceed?
I actually need my Ethernet cables back.
Oh, okay.
I guess I could maybe
Past the Washington.
go into a little
I should be
bit.
able to give it back to you in just a minute.
No, you're fine. I'm not really in any hurry.
So you go deep sea fishing.
It's not a long demo, is it? Is it a long demo or?
It potentially could be, because I was going to go into a little bit about how this actually might work.
Go out there on the 20th and come back.
Jeremy's not here.
No, Jeremy's not here, so he can't correct me either, so.
Yeah, that's a good news.
Good time down memory lane.
Yeah.
What I will,
Back.
what I will do is, I will get
Revisit them.
You
Yeah.
could
some stuff up on the board while he's still messing around, trying to figure stuff out. So.
Always getting it over my head.
I am, I'm already there.
He went past C, that's, I don't know. What's he gonna do next?
I was talking to the guy about that, what Jeremy was talking about the other week, about the little thumbprints, the
Yeah.
files. He said that his company, they use that for, as attachments to files when they send them out in bulk emails to people. If
Mhm.
somebody says, oh, I want to save that, he says, rather than having all these tens of thousands of versions of it saved on their drive, he says, when you go to save it, it looks at that thumbprint and says, it's already saved. It only saves one copy, and then what you're doing is just saving the link to that.
Oh, okay. But you
Because he
can,
works for big companies, so he just, when they're worried about data storage.
it's like the same thing that, you're doing with, the cloud, Google Cloud. You send the link out. You don't send the file in your document, you send the link to the file,
Mhm.
and you put, if you want public access or grant whoever access you want to, then send it out. There are some restrictions as far as you need to be some of them you need to, you can give all access, okay? Everyone has access, and you give them the link. Anybody happens to find it, okay, they found it. Or you put restricted access on it to specific people. If you're restricted to specific people, then they have to have a Gmail account. Okay, so you have some of that already. And I've started doing some of that. Some of the documents I send out really are links to documents.
Okay, is that kind of how Dropbox works too?
I don't know, you'd have to ask Mr. Dropbox up there. But this has been around, they used to, I mean, this has been around for years. They used to force you to have it locally or on some device. And you could send the link out and it would find your device. Okay. And now it's, you just put it up on the cloud and you, like a photos. That's when I send photos out, I say, okay, this photo is public and send the link out. You want to look at the photos? Here they are, boom.
Yeah.
And now it pretty much works that way. Any document you want to send it, send to and share it with, and share it with everyone, and then send the link out to everyone. And that's the way it works. And if you want to send it to specific people, then it's got to be Gmail. I think Yahoo they were doing something with Yahoo. I don't know if they are anymore. But the pictures now, I just make them public. I grant anyone who has the link, you can do that. Anyone who has
So what's
the
the
link,
matrix for?
and send it out. Send the
That's
link.
going to be the cipher that we're
Oh,
going
the
to use.
cipher. Oh, wow. Heavy duty.
Well, let's look at one.
One what?
How to share the document. I forgot to look at the screen. So we need to go to Boing and Documents, and we go to, you wait. There's my automation technology folder.
All that.
Actually, I don't want to do the automation technology folder. We just want to find a document. There's an untitled document. See what it is. It's kind of empty, but that's okay. And we want to share it. And there's an untitled document.
Name it before you share it.
The hello document, save. Okay, and here are your options. And if I want to share it with Leroy,
You put Leroy.
and there, and
I don't want it. I don't want to be
and it
shared
says
with
here's some people I can share it with: Frank, Don.
Frank doesn't want that either.
Yeah. And then you can do send, and it will send them a note saying, hey, this guy shared this file with you. and then they can go look at their shared files, and that file will pop up.
Yeah. And since he says we can edit it, we could go in there and make changes.
Yeah.
But we don't want that file.
I think I should send it anyway.
You probably should.
And then can comment, can view. Can view is restrictive. I don't want to get into that, so we can view, and then I can just send that out. Now let's see, add more people. Okay, accepted Yahoo. Now she can view that. So I can say send, and it says, do you want to notify them? Say it says notify people, bottom right. And it'll tell them you got that document.
See if you can type in a phone number. Maybe
That would be
possibly
weird.
Send text. Do 513.
It's busy doing something at the moment.
Oh,
You may not want to give an actual phone number because we are streaming live on the internet.
oh, okay. Never mind then.
I'm just saying. I mean, you know, if you want a bunch of people calling you, that's fine. I
There's
don't
nobody
care.
watching this. There's nobody watching this. Okay, and let's see. It's red underlined. I'm not sure what that means.
I mean, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't recognize it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know what it would do. I don't think.
You have a twisted mind. This gentleman,
Yeah.
we need to keep an eye on him.
Yeah,
That's free.
he fits in here quite well.
Here's the
Yeah.
box.
Here's me.
Ah. Okay.
He fits in here quite well.
Okay, so that's how you do it. If you want to share it, there it is. And you got to have an email address or something. You put it in there, and away you go. And let's see, when you go to, I'm not going to share it, but that's how you share it. It's easy. What did I want to do? I didn't want to do that. And there's the hello file. What was I going to do? Oh, I was going to go look at in the shared with me. Mr. Frank Hill has shared Visual Studio.zip with me, and Don Ellsworth has shared Raspberry
What's
Zero.
the Microsoft stuff doing in there?
What?
It's got your picture right beside it.
What happened?
Yeah. So if you want to look at some file someone has shared with you, there it is. And it's with them and all. Now I send stuff to Gail and say, go look, where is it? I don't know where you put it. Go look in your shared folder. That's where it is. I gave you access to it. That's where it is. I can't find it. Go look under shared. So they're fixing this up. This is looking good to me. This is progress.
Oh, yeah.
And I do some of this. The pictures, you can go to the Google Pictures thing and build an album, share the album out, you make it public, and then send them the link. And all the people in the running group that I sent mail to can come look at the link.
Cool.
You say, access anyone with a link. If you don't have the link, you can't get to it. You got to know the
And you
link.
could probably make that edible too, like people could add photos to the album if they wanted to.
Yeah, exactly.
Were you not able to figure it out, or?
No, I'm live wireless. I'm turning the LED
Oh,
on and
he's got it. He's good to go.
Okay.
He's done figured it out.
So have you got a short presentation, or have you got a...
Well, yeah, basically, this one is, let me connect my phone up to it. First of all, I don't have the,
You have to have the executive overview to tell us what you're doing, because I'm here.
okay, so here's what I've done. I have first of all, my name's Art Elsey. I live in California, but I have a house here too. So, what I've got here is a Raspberry Pi 3 running Raspbian. Has the GPIO pins out here. Got a breadboard, bunch of resistors. What I have done is I've written a web page that contains some PHP that allows me to, when I click on a button, run a little C program, compiled C program in the background. So, as I say, if you connect to his router with your smartphone, which is Netgear, SSID is Netgear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can bring up a web page at 172.16.0.5/index01.php. So you should be able to bring that up. Are you going to bring it up there?
I'm working on it.
Then you're going to press a button.
172.16.0.5 /
index01.php.
Index 01 dot. Help if I could spell.
Index is INDEX.
Oh, I am turning LEDs on and off all by myself.
Wow.
With no help from anyone.
Got a web server. Runs on Raspberry Pi.
It is very, very similar.
To the Arduino.
Yep, to our Arduino project.
You want to put it up on the screen?
I can't. I'm connected to the Netgear.
Oh.
How many people can connect at one time? Or have you tried
I've
more than
never
one?
tested that.
Well, we're gonna test it
So
right
far,
now.
I've had a count.
Uh-oh.
So far, I've had a count of 2. I've simultaneously had my smartphone and my laptop connected, so I haven't tried.
Okay, so we're both connected right now.
All right, see if
You got the web page up?
Yeah. Turn
Okay.
green on.
I'm turning it off.
Okay. Well, stuff is going on and on.
I'm just hitting buttons.
Bunch of stuff's going on right there.
We're breaking the Raspberry Pi.
It's like,
I don't even know if that's working. Did you hit a red?
I don't know what I hit.
Okay, I hit a red.
okay.
Okay, hit
Let
a green.
me tell you what
red came
what
out.
corresponds
Oh, okay.
to the LEDs
Yeah.
here. Okay. Winch down. Each of the winch downs corresponds to one of the red LEDs.
Okay.
Each of the winch up corresponds to one of the blue LEDs. The middle on all of the winches basically
Stops it.
stops both of them, okay?
Oh, okay.
I got
Okay?
you.
And if you go to the bottom and click on music on, this LED right here will go blue. Okay? And stop. The mood lighting doesn't work because I ran out of,
Time?
no, it has nothing to do with time. It has to do with the fact that I bought a pack of 10 jumpers and I needed an 11th jumper. Okay? I was too lazy to go find some wire and
We need one more jumper.
What value did you use for resistors?
33.
these are 470 ohm. So we're dropping. I figure the LED's got a forward of maybe 1.5 volts.
It's working.
The output of
working,
here
yeah.
is a 5 volts. So say you got 3.5 across
Actually.
approximately 500. So ohms. So you're talking about roughly 7 milliamps per LED.
That is not to overdrive it. See, Leroy just drives them to death. you know, so.
Yeah, well,
LEDs are cheap.
well, they're cheap unless you don't have them. You gotta understand, I moved into my house 6 days ago.
I'm with you.
So I don't have any infrastructure here at all. All my stuff's in California.
What part of California?
I live in Fremont, California, which is the south end of the San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay, I have 2 sons that live out
I
there.
said, no.
Yeah, we're both controlling it at the same time.
Oh, no, I understand you can do that. The question was how many
How many can
yeah.
actually do?
It's
simultaneously connect.
unknown.
I would imagine that yeah.
You
I
could
don't
probably
know.
get
I
so
mean-
pretty many, but it would just be bogged down to the
Well,
point where it
it's
wouldn't
gonna be
go anywhere.
controlled by the router. The router's probably limited to 32 simultaneous Wi-Fi connections, I would guess.
Oh, that's true.
Because this thing-
Considering that,
You know, this thing's
Yeah.
a
This
quad
router, yeah.
core. You know, it runs faster than the LEDs can switch. It
Yeah.
runs fast. So the reality is, you know,
So pretty much whatever the router can.
whatever the router can sync, you're good to go.
I would think that the only other downside, and it's probably not a big deal with the Pi, but memory is a limitation on the Arduino, so
Yeah,
only a
yeah.
couple of people can connect at a time on the
Oh,
Arduino.
well, this, the actual code for this, and I can provide code for it, but the actual code for this includes,
Probably real small too.
well, there's a HTML/PHP page that allows you to connect those buttons.
Right.
It generates this screen that you see there. And then there's some PHP sitting behind that connects each of those buttons to one of the GPIO pins
Right.
here. And then the other thing is for each of the GPIO pins, I've written a little C program, which is all of the active part is probably 10 lines long, something like that. And they're all the same except that each one of them goes to a different pin.
Now, actually, this demo kind of sort of falls in line with what I was planning on doing. What kind of security do you actually have set up
The only security you've got right now is via the router.
via the router? Okay.
I could, but I didn't bother because I was trying to get ready. My Cincinnati Bell 5 megabit DSL went live Monday afternoon, so I have been scrambling a little bit to get everything going since then. So I'll show you another one, okay? I'll show you another demo. And obviously, I'm running Apache on this, by the way.
Okay.
I've probably neglected. I'm running Apache on this, Apache 2.
So that has enough power to run like the secure HTTPS.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
So you can use it for a gateway.
He could use it
Oh, absolutely.
real
Absolutely.
live.
Real live gateway.
I was just trying to do whiz-bang show and tell. I wasn't trying to...
Do impressive extra stuff.
Let me show you one additional one. Okay, well, I've got the floor. 2.16.0.5. Here is a different web page. If you go to index.php rather than index01.php,
Okay.
you will see this.
Index.php instead of 01.
You get a different web page. Okay,
Oh, yep.
you see it?
Yep.
So
Okay.
I do this, or I can do this. Don't do anything below flash pin 01 because I don't have it hooked up, and it locks the thing up. So if I do scan GPIO,
Oh, cool.
it's scanning.
We're good.
Stop GPIO and stop flash. Now, I can run those two programs on top of each other so that it's simultaneously sort of scratching its head and rubbing its stomach, so to speak, okay?
Multitasking.
And they don't interfere with it. Well, it's as you would expect. It's a quad-core machine,
right.
so, you know.
Yeah, it's a little too
And
tiny
there is
computer.
no way to the best of my knowledge, there's no easy way to have one of them say, only you can use the GPIO pin 1, say, for example. So at any rate, that constitutes my demo.
And you're gonna put your stuff up.
This,
Pardon?
You're gonna put your source up.
You
I can
put your
I can-
code up to the
Okay, where do I
arch
put it?
corner.
I guess is the obvious question.
To arch corner.
Arch corner.
Read your mail. You have a link to arch corner.
My mail is not working on Linux right now. It's
Okay,
only working.
but
on,
it's there.
okay. I can put it. Okay, so I'll give you the source code for the PHP. Now, one of the things that I've got is I've got a complete path to the little C programs. So you can put those wherever you want to, but you got to modify the PHP in order to route that button click to the right place on your machine.
that makes sense.
I happen to be running in Linux here, but you can do the same thing. I think some of you are running in Mate or
Yeah.
Mate.
Yeah.
Well, that's an Ubuntu. Excuse me, it's a Debian.
Pretty much the same thing.
So
yeah.
it's the same thing.
Did you load Apache or did it come with the distribution?
No, I loaded Apache.
Okay.
Apache's easy.
Which version? Apache 2. That.
Well, it's Apache 2, but it's these days I think it's 2.8 or something. I'll find out.
You can run PHP on a Windows machine too.
Yeah, you can. I got it actually on one of my servers.
Well, you can run PHP. You can also run Apache.
Yeah, I was just wondering what version, because a lot of times I try not to get the bleeding edge because.
Well, what I did here was real complicated. I said apt install Apache 2, bang.
Whatever.
And whatever was in the repository is what you get.
Now, keep in mind, I'm running Raspbian on here, so it's whatever's in the Raspbian repository,
Right.
not whatever's in the Ubuntu
Or the Debian.
or Debian or
Yeah.
whatever. But I believe the Raspbian repository is pretty much the same as the Debian, current Debian.
I think they share part of the repository anyway.
And all the common stuff like
Yeah.
Apache. Apache is Apache, okay?
So how much memory? The SD card on this, right?
Yeah, I've got this one. I've got an 8 gig micro SD in.
That's what I got on that one.
I have, for lack of a better term, a load of shit on this thing. And I think I've got 1.4 gigs available. But you could put this all together because it's also got LibreOffice.
Doesn't like
It's
run
got
that router.
everything on it. So I did a
Still on
full
the router.
Raspbian
I
install.
got
like
loaded.
And then I've added stuff, because I use this for a lot of different experiments, okay? I've got 2 of them here with me, and I use them for a lot of different experiments. But in the future, what I'm going to do is put these up probably with 32s. I mean, I think the 8s that I bought cost me $3.97 or something. I mean, flash memory is so cheap but there is a limit on the Raspberry Pi as to what the largest you can use. I don't know what it is.
Wasn't it 64?
Well, I've heard 32 works okay. 64 has gotten mixed reviews. And I put 128 on my smartphone a while back, but I haven't tried 128 on here. But I mean, you know, as I say, flash memory is so cheap that, you know.
It probably has to do with who actually manufactured the.
That's probably true. Anyway, that's the demo. Now, a little background on this project. My school is doing a tiny house program.
Ah, okay.
I don't know if you know what that is, but basically it's like a rustic trailer, as near as I can tell. It's a little tiny house.
Oh, okay, I know what it is.
Less than I don't know what is a couple of 100 square feet, something like that. Not very big.
That's the computer.
And the purpose of this is this tiny house is going to have 4 panels that drop away and has winches with cables that drop these panels down. Okay, hence the web page that says winch up, winch down, winch up, winch down, and then we've got. Unfortunately, we've got some students who have never actually built a piece of hardware, but they got all kinds of ideas with it. So they decided they wanted mood lighting and music, okay? And I said, you know, you're really going to fall on your face unless those cables work. You better get that going first. So at any rate, I took over and just wired this up, wrote the programs and so forth and so on. So that's the reason it says winches. It is designed to control wirelessly these winches, and also you can turn on and turn off the music and turn on and turn off the mood lighting. So anyway, that's the background of the thing.
Slick.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But the point is that, of course, this thing won't sync enough to run those winches. These winches
You
are
need to.
12 volts at God knows how many amps. I'm guessing 10 amps, something like that. So I've got micro relays
Yeah.
that would be triggered by these in place of the LEDs. The LEDs is just an easy way to demo it.
Right.
These winches weigh about 25 pounds apiece, and bringing 4 of them into here seem to be a bit overkill.
No?
Trust me. This is not an LED. This is a garage door.
Okay, well, it's the same thing, okay? Once you've got a contact closure that you can control, you know, you can hook any
Relay.
digital
Yep.
device to it.
What kind of relays are you using? What brand? But you get
I don't know
the cheap ones
offhand.
that come with Arduino.
Pardon?
I said you can get the cheap ones that come with Arduino,
Yeah,
but you can also get
but they
smaller
take 6 months to come here from China.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're on a deadline for October 15th. So it's whatever Amazon has in stock.
Okay.
Right now, I'm waiting for feedback on the winches. I've got a team of students in California who are trying to figure out how to determine what current this DC winch can. And their first stab was, well, we'll put a clamp on ammeter. And I said, no,
Not
I got to
DC,
tell
got
you,
special.
you better take my electronics course.
I do have DC clamp-ons, but that's not cheap.
But no, so I'm trying to find out what the current requirement is before I buy the relays.
Don't they tell you when you get the winch what the like the surge, the initial current's going to be?
These come from Harbor Freight.
Oh, okay. That's our place.
Well,
Complete
Winches.
You're going to fall right in here with
complete with all the specifications.
Besides Micro Center, Harbor Freight is my second favorite store. So yeah.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I don't have a set of specs. I expect students that are in my courses to be able to use a DVM, an oscilloscope.
God, you're expecting a lot.
Yeah, you betcha. And actually know Ohm's law.
Oh, no, that's, no, please.
So,
Ohm's law.
yeah, right.
It's got a law. What?
Yeah. You died a long time ago, man.
So anyway, bottom line is, I'm working at the end of a wire with a bunch of people in California who need some additional training. So at this point, I don't have the relays in hand. I have yet to order them because I have yet to have a current spec. So,
Those little relays are, what are they, 20 amp?
Yeah, 10 amp.
10 amp. They're 10 amp at 110 and 20 amp at
You could get
12,
any
I
spec.
think.
The idea is just to get them small.
Yeah.
And
yeah, the ones that I've used with the Arduino are about yay big and about that wide.
Little blue suckers.
And the little blue suckers, and they are opto-coupled. So basically, they're an opto-coupler that has a substantial current capacity on the secondary side.
Yeah.
So,
The cheap Arduinos, they're opto-coupled.
Yep.
Too.
yeah.
Yeah, little blue suckers.
Little blue suckers. Okay, now I get it. Those are the ones we're using.
Yeah, the little blue suckers.
I've got a set of those, but I don't know if they're going to be adequate current because I have no idea what the surge on these things.
I use those for my garage door open. I can open 3 garage doors.
Yeah,
They
but
work fine
your
for
garage
years.
door is probably, what, a quarter horsepower or something like that?
Half.
You're going to
half.
he's going to the remote anyway.
Yeah.
You're not going to the motor itself.
Yeah, you're not driving the motor directly off there. Using
I'm driving it from the unit. I have a relay that
Yeah.
closes the contacts on the unit.
but all that does is activate whatever's
20,
inside.
28 volt relay.
Yeah. So at any rate,
But this relay is actually going to close the contact with some real current to go.
well, when I find out what current requirement, I will be scrambling to get some relays. But
There are
Right
people
now.
with relays. I've got a 8 unit and a 4 unit and probably a 2 unit. If you need some in a hurry, let us know. That's what we were scrambling for a cable today. We just see who's got it. There's a bunch of stuff floating around.
You're aware of MCM up in Springboro, or have you heard of MCM Electronics?
You need to know that.
where are they located?
Pioneer Boulevard in Springboro. Just
Where
up
is that relative to Toki or Shiba or wherever?
It's toward Dayton.
yeah,
toward Dayton.
up 75
Up 75.
Yeah.
Okay.
north.
No, I grew up in Columbus, Ohio, but none of this stuff was invented when I last lived here.
Well, then it would be very much south of Columbus, Ohio.
Not south. Closer to here.
Yeah, we're what, 12 miles from here,
Yeah, it doesn't take
maybe.
long.
Go to exit
You-
38,
You,
take a right, take
Exit
another right.
30, exit 38.
Now,
you need to order it first, though. You order it.
now the showroom is open again.
Yeah.
So you don't need to order
You don't have to
anything.
order.
No, you just
No,
go up
these
there
are
and tell them
just-
what you want.
Electronic components we're talking about.
Yes.
So they're an electronic orientation to, say, Micro Center.
It's a big distribution place. You can buy all kinds of stuff.
They-
Micro Center gets a lot of their stuff from.
Yeah, Micro Center actually does get some of their stuff from
Okay,
them.
so this would be like DigiKey or
Yes.
or Arrow or
Jimco.
Or
Jimco.
MCM.
MCM.
okay.
Element 13 owns them, or they own Element 13. I'm not sure.
13 or 14?
14.
Element
Same thing.
14.
He was close.
He's one of
One number. What?
When did Element 14?
Element 14
is Adafruit in New York, basically, very closely related.
Yeah, they carry a lot of the same products.
Okay, so this is MCM. They are up 75 to 38.
Exit 38,
38. Go right.
turn right,
Go.
and then turn right again on Pioneer.
Fine.
It,
Okay.
they're pretty easy to find. It's mcmelectronics.com or something.
And it's
Very
all the way
similar.
at the end.
They're on the
That's
web.
Pioneer's dead
Okay,
end.
I at this point, given that, I can find it.
But
I do have one additional vendor question though while I've got the floor, and that is, we have places in the San Francisco Bay Area, most notably weird
Fries.
stuff.
Fries.
Well, Fries is the high price spread, okay? Weird Stuff sells surplus computers and surplus equipment and so
Weird
forth.
Stuff.
So, Weird Stuff.
You want some surplus stuff? Now,
Yeah, where's surplus?
Mendelssohn's, the third floor of Mendelssohn's is all surplus electronics.
Are we talking computer or electronics?
Yes. Whatever they get.
Okay, where's Mendelssohn?
Downtown Dayton. What is that? First Street?
Okay,
Third
we've
Street.
already exceeded my memory capacity.
There's two places up in Dayton.
And there's a place in
Middleton's
Fairborn.
and,
There is a movie of this meeting, by the way. If you go into your meeting announcement at the top, and I'll show it to you.
He doesn't have his meeting announcement because
Oh,
he can't get his email.
Well, here.
He doesn't do Windows.
Oh, somebody else is.
No,
That's
actually, I
me,
do
because I
Windows.
was getting
This
ready
is a
to-
dual boot machine.
I think we're gonna put you next week. Maybe you don't have enough time.
Okay,
I can start.
Yeah, let's let him
MCM
finish.
and Mendelssohn's. That's as in,
Yeah,
not a
Kinda.
lot of musicians here, I can tell
yeah.
you.
Like a mandolin or a mandolin or
Mandolin, that's with an A, not an A-E.
exactly. I knew I was confused when I said it.
Mendelssohn,
13.
and this is in Dayton?
Same thing.
We'll take the first street,
I-
49.
I used to think he
Short
worked for
75 again?
he works at Element.
49, actually.
Oh, yeah.
49, it's just it's 49 to First Street.
That's how confused I am.
Then,
You look familiar.
Bear right on the first.
Probably from here.
And the other MCM was exit
I'll pop in
38,
about
right?
exit
38.
so.
And this is all on 75, right?
All 75.
There's a place in Fairborn called Midwest Supply.
This is different
Electronics
from
now, but,
Yes,
Fairborn.
Fairborn, which is also north, but I couldn't tell you how to get to it from here.
Well,
off
my
of
wife is looking at
675.
a furniture store up there, so I'm sure I've got a local.
It's off 675. But
And it's
Metal?
I believe it's called Midwest Surplus.
Works for TSS.
I saw that online. Do you know anything about
Doing
it?
business with,
I have bought some solar panels from them before and some other just miscellaneous stuff.
There's nothing in Cincinnati that is near like.
Not really.
Tony Strasser's?
I found a place that
Mark
sells stuff.
As-
Downtown.
As far as surplus stuff goes, it all seems to be up near the base, near the Air Force base.
Oh, that makes sense.
As far as electronic parts go, there's not really any that I know of other than Micro Center
Yeah.
down south. Can you think of any down south?
Well, there was
So I was looking for surplus places.
Yeah.
So I know Micro Center. We used to have Micro Center in the Bay Area.
But
I think Fry's drove them out of business.
Last name's Coolman now.
There's
My dad's name's Coolman,
what?
with a K.
What's the other surplus place up in Dayton?
It starts with an F. It's,
See, I don't know that one.
Starts with an S or F?
I think it's F.
And Frank.
I thought you said it.
Fairborn.
Yeah, I think that might actually be the name of it.
Oh. Well, Fairborn's
You
the
said
city up there.
Midwest Surplus. Fairborn Midwest Surplus.
Yeah, there's Midwest Surplus in Fairborn. Now, I think there's one other one up there, but I don't know what it is.
Okay.
One of the somebody at Midwest Surplus probably would be able to tell you because they seem really nice. The people at Mendelssohn's, some days they have good days, and some days they get really, really cranky.
It's
No, I
probably
think
smaller
that's
than
the
what
two I'm
you're
thinking
used
of.
to.
Mendelssohn's and Midwest. Yeah, okay.
It's gonna be smaller than what you're used to.
It's okay.
Midwest is definitely smaller than what you're used to. Mendelssohn's might be, it's pretty overwhelming.
It's gonna be different. Here's the meeting announcement. That's the link to this site. This is your meeting announcement that you get every week if you're lucky. And this week you got a meeting announcement?
Yeah.
That's the link to this. The link to the video. That's provided by Leroy there. It's right there at the beginning of your meeting announcement. So you can go to look at anything you missed in the meeting.
Okay. Well, is that what this gives you is here?
Yeah, he was recording you for when you were
For-
when you
for-
were low.
I don't recall signing on it. I'm from California, remember?
That's true.
Sue Leroy,
Leroy has no money. Don't.
yeah, that's
Camp.
take the webcam, that's all he's got. He's like me.
Please let me keep my computer. Take my webcam.
Here are the links to the various projects. And notice there's Arch Corners number 2 there. I sent you the mail message with the link to it. You should have got a link
And
announcement.
you sent that to what email address?
The one you gave me, which would be the K something or other. Is that
Oh,
it?
AELSEA@k-lab-resources. Okay, fine.
You can get to it here anyway.
Yeah,
Okay. You have to know
I'm
that.
fine.
That's true.
I'm fine. I got it.
And there's the GitHub.
Yeah, we have
Link.
a bunch of our projects on GitHub.
Okay.
That was thanks
So-
to Jeremy.
You want me to upload the code and so forth and so on to Arch
Your
Corner?
folder. To Arch
You-
folder.
You're
What we do.
on Google.
Well, we'd like
that's
to
a
give you
Google
Max.
folder.
Do you have a GitHub account?
No, I do not.
Okay, so for now, and let you know what our intent is. This is all voluntary,
No, I understand.
and we like to put up projects that someone could take and use.
Yeah, well, they can certainly take this for the use.
Okay. And just give them, you can go look in my folder and see, and Leroy's got stuff up there.
Okay?
And generally, my guidelines are, I have the entire code there, the original code as it was used. I link to an original article if I'm referring to an article. Usually I'm copying somebody's work.
Yeah.
And I have the entire code there.
Okay.
And I try to do a general outline with pictures and whatever in it, and try to make it useful for younger people to get in, like your audience would be.
Like what?
Like your audience would be it when you're teaching. You're trying to get young people
Yeah,
in.
I've got very few students who are under 40, but
Whoa!
I teach at a community college, and there are a lot of tradesmen taking these courses.
Oh, okay.
People that should know stuff.
People should.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, if you got a guy who's a plumber and wants to retread himself as electronic control system, you know.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's a leap.
There is a big leap because I don't think I could do plumbing, at least not
Yes, you could.
at least not professionally.
Not professional.
And here, this is the meeting announcements. The stuff in the fluorescent light colors are what we're doing this week.
How did you know I was going to do this?
I just typed it in while you're sitting here.
Oh.
And then this is what happens.
This is post
He's
facto.
You got to
Okay.
I think we're freaking
This is standard what happens. It's a demonstration. I'm typing in crap. Then I ask a question that I should already know the answer for, and then I get in trouble again.
Okay.
This is how it works.
This is actually very efficient. So this is cool.
And this is kind of a live document. As we're going through, I'm updating it. See, we're ready for next week. Okay.
At least let me explain what I wrote up on the board.
Okay. So you don't have to rewrite it next week.
Don't we have a half hour?
About.
Okay.
Yep.
I could do something. I mean,
Go ahead.
All right.
But we announce it again for next week.
you have to watch the
Glad you dropped by.
Yeah.
Here.
Take your match.
All right.
Match. Dropped in to get a match. That's a typical Southern humor.
Okay.
You can ignore me like most people do. Okay.
What?
Leroy?
My thing is about trying to secure access to an Arduino. So if we were using it to open a garage door or something, we just don't want everybody to be able to access the website. We want to be able to ourselves and only us have access to open our garage door. The Arduino doesn't really support the HTTPS because, you know, it's very, very limited on memory and number of other
Processing power.
number of other factors going on. So doing some research and some whatever, I came across like 4 or 5 different libraries that actually do some sort of encryption. Now, I have actually come across a problem with the methodology that I am using, but I think I can fix that. And if we're going to do a bigger demo next week, I will see if I can actually fix it and do it. But the method that I've decided on that's probably the easiest, simplest, and the friendliest on resources, unlimited resources that the Arduino has, is called a vignette cipher. And it's basically multiple Caesar ciphers, which Caesar shifted the alphabet over. The problem with a Caesar cipher is if you have something like message with 2 S's, you would end up with, you know, whatever the shift would be, you might end up with 2 T's next to it. So now you could decode that because now there's a limited number of letters or number of words that have 2 of something next to each other. So the vignette cipher uses a key over and over and over until you run out. So I don't have M's over here, but I have E, and we go E and E. E and E would end up giving us a J. I don't have the S, but let's say it ends up giving us a G in one case and a C in another case. So you end up, you know, with something that A and E would give you an F. G and Y, not far enough down. So, you know, that could end up giving you a Z, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The cipher that I actually found for the Arduino doesn't just use alphabet, it uses numbers, it uses upper and lowercase, numbers, and symbols. So the table is actually very, very large. The key can be relatively small, but the table is huge. So the key itself is only 4 digits long. So what I ended up doing was I made a rotating key. So one Arduino or one application sends the key that it wants to use, and then it sends the message. It deciphers the message, that the web server would decipher the message, and based on whether or not the message is valid or not, it does something. So the message could actually be anything, you know, it could be door up or close or.
How about you're actually, okay, suppose you have a password and you're going to the website, you put the URL in the browser.
Yeah.
And then you go to the website, you get prompted by a form for a password. Now you're going to type in the password. Is that password going to get encrypted before it's put up in the browser?
It should. You should encrypt it before you ever send it, because if you send it in the clear, you're really not doing.
All right. Now you need to anything that appears in the address bar.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to also need to decrypt it.
Right.
Okay.
So there's actually the way the way this particular cipher works, there's actually two keys. There's a rotating key that's supposed to rotate, and there's another key that is a private key, more or less a private key. And the private key, it would be on both devices. The rotating key would be the one that this device would send to this device, and then it would send the message right
How do you manage this rotating key?
I just randomized it.
Oh, okay. Oh, so any one of these rotating keys is going to work.
Hence the problem.
Okay.
So if somebody's watching the stream, or hijack the site or whatever, every single time that you send something, you know, it's going to go back, and you can just copy that 1,000 times and paste it right back into the website, and it will do what you tell it to do. The only thing is it's encrypted, so they don't really know what they're telling it to do, but they're telling it to do something.
So
if it's a valid code, it's telling you to do something, but they may not know what it is. And based on what I've read about these particular ciphers, they're very hard to crack. Even, you know, people spend years trying to decipher them because of how the key rotates.
But now, if you are just doing something like opening and closing your garage, there's only a few actions involved. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, if your garage door starts going up and down,
then you know that you've been hacked.
Yeah, right.
You've been hacked.
Hence the problem that I ran. It's almost like having some security that's not good is worse than having no security at all. Because you think you're protected, but in reality, if I'm watching that data stream, all I'm going to do is pull off the part and reuse it.
Suppose you sent this message to UDP.
I haven't tried that.
Now, I'm just thinking about the advantage of UDP versus
It would still be in the clear though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Somebody could still hijack the stream. So my thought was on both whatever device, we put a real-time clock over here, we put a real-time clock over here, and as long as they're in sync within maybe a minute of each other, this one will encrypt the time that you asked it to do something, the rotating code, shove that along. This one here will decrypt the time first, and if the times aren't even close, it'll go, forget it. I don't care if the rest of the message is valid.
The Arduino passwords use that real-time, the clock that's on the Arduino.
Yeah, but we couldn't do that with this, because what if you start your device up first, and this device has been sitting for days and days and days just waiting.
Yeah.
So we need a real-time clock and a real-time clock, and then we need to decide, you know, is 5 minutes too long? Is 1 minute too long? Or
Can you go out to, what's the time base?
NTP.
NTP? I mean, that's pretty accurate. Everybody goes
yeah,
to NTP.
I'm already pushing my luck on memory for just the web server.
So you need to move up to a bigger processor.
Yeah.
Well, more RAM.
No.
Well,
yeah.
The Arduino is still pretty limited on.
Which Arduino? Is that the Uno?
The Uno.
Or the Mega?
The Mega I probably wouldn't have a problem doing it. You would also have to do the same thing on the other one. So if we went wireless, you may make a wireless remote that doesn't even have access to the internet that would just connect to this thing. So you'd still need a real-time clock.
Yeah, even just doing a password with the Arduino uses up too much memory.
Yeah.
So I started using the Mega.
Yeah. So it's an interesting it's an interesting problem. It's one that I think, you know,
It's worth solving.
I think it's worth solving. Yeah. But like I said, the more as I got this project actually closer to being complete and closer to being done, I realized there's still a problem. If you hijack the string, you're not going to know what it's doing.
Actually, with this kind of stuff, you can get safer and safer and safer. You're never going to be perfect.
It's never gonna be
I've come to
perfect.
this conclusion.
So I will show you real fast what one of the
What are the libraries? You said there were 3 libraries?
there's actually like more than there were 3 that were probably good. There's a 4th one that is using something that is based off of the WEP encryption,
Yeah.
WEP,
Yeah.
and we all know how bad
Yeah, well, that's
that
not
was.
secure at all.
So I rejected that one almost immediately, just because of what it was. The other 2 were actually modern encryption schemes, but when I tried to compile them, they just threw a ton of compile errors, and I just sat there and was going, this is a nightmare, and kind of sort of didn't even try to dig into why it was throwing off these compile errors. The Vignette cipher that I actually ended up using, like I said, it's very, very small. It's very, very easy to use. It's actually pretty easy to understand what it's doing. It's just a little it's a little harder to break. And for doing what we're doing, I think it probably would work okay. Like Frank said, nothing's going to be perfect. And even if we put a date and a time in there, it's not going to be perfect. But somebody would probably have to be sitting outside your house watching to know what, because I don't know if everybody can see that or not, but that is to turn off or lower the garage door would be one of the codes up there that's highlighted. And that contains the rotating key and it contains the message.
Okay.
And then this one here would be to raise the door. So I could actually go in here, just easily. This should turn on the green LED. So I could copy this, and I could just go very easily to our website. No buttons or anything. And I could just so.
Good.
And then you see down here where it says LED 2 is on.
Mm-hmm.
So it acknowledged the fact that it actually got a valid message. So by just taking a couple of, well, I don't even need to take a couple off. Just by taking one off, I will end up with an invalid message that says unauthorized. By putting the other message, which would be to turn off the LED or lower the garage door,
So, I mean, you could.
I would get a valid return that says LED 2 is off.
Yeah, you could add levels, because like first you put a password, a login password, and then after that you got these encrypted messages, which is actually pretty good.
I thought about that, but it's a memory.
Login and password
memory.
on Arduino is going to kill your memory. So
Yeah, it's a memory issue.
Yeah.
But this is
that will work with a Mega.
This is dirt simple.
Yeah.
Easy to do. It's just a straight. The website is running on the Arduino itself.
Now, what kind of a web server are you using?
It's
HTML.
pure software.
So
Very,
you're not
very
using
basic.
Apache
No,
or?
no. This is created.
Arduino
So
has
you
like,
wrote a web server?
You can write one, but the sample code gives you web server. You just
Yeah.
modify it. You modify it. The
Right.
bad thing is if you want to put styles on it, like you want to put styles,
Yeah,
it takes up a lot of
CSS.
space.
here, I can actually show you the code. So this is the web server,
Mhm.
and that probably looks familiar to you. All the HTML.
Yeah.
So I'm telling the Arduino to write to the client
Mhm.
HTML blah blah blah, and the web browser interprets what that is.
Okay.
Now I've used the same type of web server to drive. I had it on a tablet. I didn't have a website or anything. I just had buttons,
Mhm.
and all I was doing was sending the HTML, HTTP URL / some number
Mhm.
to the thing, and it was driving the robot around for me.
Okay.
It's the same idea, and it's almost exactly the same code
It's the
for the
same thing.
Wi-Fi.
The only thing that I do different is I try to make it look better, like with real
Yeah.
buttons and stuff like that.
Well, what
But
do
you end up
I?
using up a lot of memory, which if you just leave off the buttons, it's just very easy to do.
There's actually no buttons on this
Yeah, he
one,
doesn't have
so I got rid of the buttons altogether.
Just messages.
So all I really care about. So we could use an app to do this, and generate the rotating code, generate the cipher, because that code's open. We see
And
how it
actually,
works.
You're actually better off without the buttons, having user interface on another end, because you don't have somebody who can actually get to the website, they can see the user interface
Right.
and do whatever they want with it.
Right. That's why I got rid of the buttons.
Now, the other thing that I do is I also display the temperature in the garage for whatever reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Now, what do you use to sense the temperature?
Use a sensor. With Arduino, they have all kinds of sensors.
So your Arduino is actually in the garage,
yeah.
and you've just put a sensor on the
Yeah.
Arduino, on
Right.
analog inputs from this.
Analog inputs.
we originally went with the Ethernet.
Yeah.
We started using the ESP8266s, which are Wi-Fi devices.
Yeah.
Arduino and an ESP8266 or the Node MCU 8266 devices. They pretty much do the same thing.
Okay.
The Node MCUs have quite a bit more memory,
A lot more.
Okay.
but they're still very, very simple.
Mhm.
Most of the Arduino code will run on them
Mhm.
without doing too much modification.
Okay.
So we went from a hardwired solution to a wireless solution, but the problem's the same no matter wireless or wired. If you can see the stream, if everything gets sent into clear and you can see it, anybody can duplicate it, because our old code might have said something like, it might have looked something like this. 2 off.
Yeah.
And that would just be in the clear. Now you've got an idea, we're actually doing something on pin 2 and we're turning it off.
Mhm.
You may still not really know what you're doing, but now there's an idea. So if that message is at least encrypted, you really don't know what it's doing.
Yeah.
So that's the gist of what I've got going on. I see the problem. I have identified that there is an actual problem to this. I think the solution is a real-time clock.
Mm.
At least I think.
Well, if you got internet access, NTP is the way to go there. But if you don't have internet access, then you got to
Yeah.
Be more creative, so to speak.
Well, real time clocks are fairly inexpensive. We just takes up more memory again.
Yeah.
So I may have to switch at least the web server portion of it over to Omega while doing the actual encryption on Arduino, because the encryption part's dirt simple, very, very small. It took up like 10% of the program space.
There's not that much difference between the Uno and the Mega, so.
Except
If
memory.
it saves, well, no, if it saves effort, then it's always best to just use Mega.
I am at, what was it, 72% of program memory right now with just what I've got.
Or you jump to ESP8266 or jump to Mega.
Yeah. And, nope, 58% of program memory.
It doesn't take much. I mean, you
It's,
just write a little bit of code and you're out of range.
It's full, pretty much. I was trying to see how many lines it actually was. But I don't see it.
231.
Yeah, plus whatever libraries you're
There's no
not pulling any libraries.
Oh yeah, there is a library because it's got the Ethernet library for the Ethernet shield.
What have you got on there? Just the Ethernet shield?
Yeah. The SD card on that is only really for storing like sensor data or something. It really doesn't help with. I probably could store the website on there, maybe have it pull the website up and ship it off to the client, but I'm not going to try to mess with that. That seems like work.
Just a lot of extra work.
Yes.
With the ESP8266, I'm starting to store like files. I create file systems and store stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't tried to read anything from the file system and use it. It seems like it's not going to be that hard a thing to do. I've just never done it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the basics of what I've got. Okay. I guess I'm done.
Very good.
Very good.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Sorry. So are you going to do part 2 next week of this?
I am going to make a very good attempt of getting a couple of real-time clocks hooked up.
Yeah, I think if you have that along with a password, that's actually pretty good.
I think if we could do if we could do a real-time clock and say maybe within a minute of each other, is anything beyond that, get rejected even before you even decode the message? I think that would be.
It'll be pretty efficient. Yeah.
I think that would be pretty fair. And if a minute is too much time, we probably could say 30 seconds of each other. But I think that would be pretty fair. And then I wouldn't be able to just store in a text file keys that actually work.
Yeah.
I would actually have to I would have to generate a valid key and then send that key like pretty much right then.
Well, you're not computationally impacted anyway. I mean, you got plenty of computational overhead.
Right.
So the memory is the problem.
The memory.
Memory's the problem.
The problem of advancing age.
Well, so yeah.
You're young guys.
Okay, that's the official pack-up message.
I have to talk to people who are just turning 50 sometimes because they're all.
You got anything you want to do next week? Any demo you want to do?
Not offhand.
Okay,
But,
just send me a note if you want to add something. You're going to be doing Cypher Part 2.
I am going to make a very good effort of trying to get that done because I think that'll fix the problem.
Okay.
I think it would even solve the problem of having a password in there somewhere.
Anybody else have anything they want to do next week?
I've been meaning to do some more Microsoft stuff with you guys.
Oh,
So you had to put up